Sure, you can come straight through here.
Mike, the facility?
The facilities are right down the hall and on the left-hand side before the PCs. So you can follow me.
So Dave, what do you know about this construction? There's a whole master plan. The prior president of the college, Bob Oltenkirk, worked with the past mayor of Newark quite a bit, Cory Booker. You know, they bought the entire, all the fraternities are now moved to the. Yeah, my wife. Yeah. I mean, there's a whole big giant master plan. I saw the photos. Good for them. Yeah, good for them. Welcome. Hi. Hi, I'm David. Hi, Chris. How are you? Pretty good. Hi, I'm David. Pat, what brings you guys here tonight?
I sent an email from that.
I'm from Warren, yes.
About an hour ago.
Yeah.
You should come in at like.
Yes, we're on the same plane.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And then I can take pictures and I'll send you my card.
That's accurate. So you graduated? I did, believe it or not, a long time ago. I was actually either on a business major, I minored in IT, and then I got my master's in here. So all these folks here, all JCP&L law, we've got IT folks, we've got an environmental person. Right, that's great. Yeah, I'm a violator. But the things we'll talk about, Dar, are going to be pretty well. We're talking about technology, and not so much from an IT perspective. Whether it's biotech, what you learn here, how to I'm actually just feeling old. Next year, graduating. How are you? Hi, I'm Dave. Hi. What? Nice to meet you. What brings you here tonight? I just got an email. Good deal. So we've got the email crew here that was forced to come. There you go. Good deal. We appreciate it. You'll, I think you'll be excited. What's your major? I'm chemistry. I'll call you back. Okay. Biology. Okay. A lot of biology majors here. Here he comes. We have an environmental guy here. A lot of biology majors here. There's no pressure or anything.
I have brother also lives in Plymouth, but his daughter goes to. Yeah, kind of back. Yeah, my brother is. That's right. Oh, okay. I have like a series of holidays going through the school system. Can't read it though.
That one's like,
I know it's a good. I never finished.
So I've been Nicholas Ambrosio for the last 15 years, and even the Ambrosio books. Yeah. So
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
See, the 95 is actually masters, but my undergrad was also PhD, but not a did a master's there. Worked for 2 years and then did another master's. Even it was like,
No, I actually work with radio station.
basically, it's
I'll let you saw me. Because I'm in the H room right now. No, I'm in the H room.
they changed it. Yeah, but they changed what I typed from first person to third person. And did all the verbs to agree now.
What's your major? This is what? This is what, I guess TS or something.
Nah, I'm chemistry biology.
Yes.
Everybody here has a master's except me.
I don't know. I didn't finish it yet. I'm just talking about it's very disorienting.
No, Bob, behind us. Like if you go straight back this way,
I've never had it, right? The freshman. I remember you.
You remember me? What? Yeah, I got it. Baseball. Yeah.
Or where am I right now?
I was gonna say, I don't where we used to always go on the left side. So if you went on the right side.
I'm here in Jersey, New York. I represent that company. So our logo is
so bad that the other year, no one's failed me so great.
fan? I was just Thanks so much for coming.
everywhere. So what do you do now that you work in the statistics major? So is that the whole policy? So what was your main So what is there today? You know what it is? Sure. If your company participates, is that right? Some program? My company's not hitting them. If they participate, we're all actually, no. You were a computer science major. In those days, computer science was part of CSLA. The rest of the stuff. No, but you were part of which college? I don't think it existed. They split up. That's why, yeah, you guys were CSLA. That's why they're CSLA, but nowadays they were CCS. They've seceded. See, it's like, so it used to be all in one place, but then your computers kind of became bigger on their own. Fadi was head of CSLA. Well, Fadi, he was a student here. He's the provost. He's the provost. He's like second to the president. Yeah, that's right. He's next to the. No, I should tell my friends that. Oh, you knew Fadi back then? Sure. Well, Fadi was in computing. He started as an undergrad here. He was a grad student, like lecturer. He was like every academic job on the way up. And he's such a great guy. He was at one point dean of CSLA. He was before Dr. Alfie. A couple of years ago, he gave the provost. And Dr. was like almost like a Fadi. Great. Fadi, I was associated with CSLA. That's the best on campus. It's great. You talk about someone who's lots of
How's that, Nick? Get you one way or the other.
Yeah, they have to do that to make it with you. Never left. Joined as a freshman. Joined as a freshman. Oh, yeah. And he's big.
Is the mic on? Yeah. Okay, great. Appreciate it if folks can take your seat. It's a pleasure to have you all here, to have our alumni back. and have eager and interested students here as well. We have a number of other guests. Jay Whitehead is coming down the aisle here. He's the chair of the Board of Visitors for the College of Science and Liberal Arts. And I guess I should introduce myself. I'm the Dean of the College of Science and Liberal Arts, Kevin Belfield. Like I said, it's a real pleasure, and it's a pleasure to introduce David Now. David Now is the moderator of this. He's an alumnus from NJIT. He's been involved in many Alumni Association activities over the years. I'll just tell you a little bit about David. He has over 30 years of IT experience. He's held positions from manager of software development to his current role of cloud and technology specialist at Oracle Corporation. In addition to his traditional IT roles, David has developed search engine placement strategies for various companies on the East Coast. He's still active in advising companies on how to improve their search rankings. He graduated from NJIT just a couple of years ago, in 1985, and then earned an MS later in 1989. He was former president of the NJIT Alumni Association. He resides in West Orange, New Jersey. So join me in giving a warm welcome to David.
Thanks, Kevin. Without further ado, I'm going to introduce our panel members here. I'll start with Tejas. Let you introduce.
There we go. Can you hear me? Yep. Okay, great. Good evening, everyone. My name is Tejas Ranade, class of '93. Did my undergrad in statistics, and then I came back to NJIT. I didn't have enough, so I came back and did my master's in computational biology. So I work at Novartis Pharmaceuticals. Been there for about 13 years, and altogether about 20 years in IT. So I did my statistics and then did a variety of other things, but basically fell into the IT field. And I guess we're just, is that it? Are we talking about, that's good enough? Okay.
My name is Matt Hill, graduated at NJIT a little later than most of these folks, in '99. Been working with Accenture now for about 10 years, since '07, as a senior manager. I work as part of the technology advisory practice within our FS Financial Services Operating Group. What that means is I spend most of my time advising clients on technology strategy, helping them answer the questions like whether they should build new systems, what type of systems they should build, what technologies they should be investing in, helping them create roadmaps, getting from point A to point B, helping them understand how their business needs to transform as the technology continues to evolve. Prior to my time at Accenture, my first job out of college actually was IBM, which is kind of an arch rival of Accenture now, although it wasn't at the time. Spent a few years at different jobs in between before I eventually settled down where I am now. My background in computer science started off as a coder, writing software, eventually through a series of career trajectory changes, eventually landed where I am now.
I don't know if we even need this. Well, thank you to the dozen of you who came out tonight. I'm Nick D'Ambrosio. I'm owner and operator of the Nomad Group, a small environmental strategy consulting company in Montclair. We provide environmental strategy solutions to the United States EPA, the Army Corps of Engineers, the Department of Defense, and a number of small, slightly smaller entities, PSE&G, JCP&L. Our first major contract was on the BP spill down in Louisiana, 6 months in New Orleans. And have been stationed overseas in Bahrain, Afghanistan, Germany, providing environmental health and safety and infrastructure support to the Navy through the Department of Defense on various drone programs. I received my environmental policy master's here in 2009 and my undergrad at Seton Hall in philosophy. So I think about why saving the earth is a good thing. Currently, I'm an adjunct professor at Montclair State, Essex County Community, and I'm working on a number of projects in and around New Jersey for the greater good of the environment. So saving the world one small piece at a time.
Chris?
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Chris Oshiro. I'm the Director of Sales Engineering for AtScale, which is a startup in Silicon Valley. So I've been working at a couple of these startups. It's business intelligence Hadoop on top of big data technologies, and basically responsible for selling a software package to Fortune 100, 500 type organizations in the East Coast of the US. East is really anything east of Chicago, and all of EMEA is my responsibility. So happy to be here.
Hi, I'm Sri Lanka Mantha. I'm the class of 1995 computer science from NJIT, so it's a walk down memory lane for me coming back here, and I'm really glad to be here. And coincidentally, my first job was actually through the Career Center, so it brings me back a long, long way, and I'm really glad to be here. I'm actually a cloud architect with Oracle, and I started out being a database administrator at Dun & Bradstreet, moved my way through a number of different organizations, and I've now been working at Oracle for about 6 years.
Good evening, this is RAVI ANNADANAM. Great to be here. As always, very closely associated with alumni activities at the school. I graduated in '96 with a master's in computer science. About 20 plus years in telecom, primarily connecting wires to satellites to all over in between. So started with Verizon about 6 months ago. I head up the pre-sales solutions engineering organization. Before that, pretty much been with every telco out there, starting with AT&T, MCI, CenturyLink, and the like. Also had a gig in startups, ran a couple of companies in the past. Happy to help you guys. Thank you.
And I'm Ken Navola. I'm actually the oldest guy here, believe it or not. By graduation age, I graduated in '89 with a computer science degree. I currently serve as the Information Security Officer for the Human Resources Division at Prudential, right here in Newark. So I fight all of you in traffic on the way to work each day, and pass through the campus every day on my way to work. I did spend the last, I'd say about 15, 20 of the last 30 years doing IT, software development, architecture design, project management. And about 10 years ago, I changed over into information security because I thought it would be easier. Well, that was a mistake. But for the last 10 years, I've really been doing information security and privacy, protecting the records of our employees and our retirees.
Thanks, Ken. Thank you, everybody. So this is really your hour. We can go a bunch of different ways with this. I had kind of some questions here. We really kind of have two paths we can take, and it's really up to you. First, just a quick show of hands. I know we had biology type majors here, chemistry. I know some people were. Can you just raise your hand so this way we can kind of get a sense of who's here? We had some math majors in the back. Engineers were in the dark shirts over here.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody else here with outlying degrees? Any computer science, how I earn my money? Yes. We'll talk to you later. Communications. Okay, good. So we can go one or two paths. We can either talk about technology. You kind of heard the background of everyone here. Or two, we can talk about what I would call advice, like student advice or pearls of wisdom. And it's really up to you. It's really your time, and we want to make sure we have a bunch of experts here. We can talk about anything, but it's really your time. So who wants to go down the technology path? Yes? Sure.
Can we talk about internships? Talk about value of internships. Because a lot of people are at that point where that's their first step. That's their first starting point. So could we ask the panel about their experience with internships, lack of or lack thereof, and maybe even yours?
I have some. So I graduated in '85. Ken at the very end was a co-op student, and we hired him back then. And it's funny because NJIT people will hire NJIT people. Make no bones about it. And it's nothing against Rutgers, nothing against any of the other NJIT on it, you're one of the top of the pile, absolutely 100%. So very important from an alumni perspective to have that kind of bonding. So my experience has always been very positive. I've probably hired a dozen co-ops in my life. You know, these were 6-month rotations. You know, Ken went on to IT security. There's a bunch of folks that I've worked with that have gone on. I work for Oracle today, and Oracle tends to hire co-ops, but their co-ops are generally in the Redwood Shores office in California. That's where our headquarters is at. So I can't really say I know they hire, but it's not just at this location. You know, it's not New Jersey. It's unfortunately Redwood Shores. So that's my experience with Oracle. And with that, I'll just go right down the.
Sure. So I don't have personal experience with internships. I was not interning after I graduated. But what I can say is that at Novartis, we definitely look for internship. We have partnerships with a variety of different schools. And as a person who's hired before, you know, getting someone who, you know, is from a school like NJIT, you know, and I would agree with you, David, you know, that definitely is something that goes to the top. And having, you know, more importantly, having the youth and the knowledge and the technology that people are experienced with today. As we obviously get older in our work, you know, we don't have the connection that we otherwise did. And so having people kind of come in and using that as a way to kind of bring new talent and new blood into the company is definitely a priority of Novartis. And so internships are very, very important, and it's something that we, you know, try to really look at. So every summer, you know, we get a call. We'll get an email, you know, a couple of months before people graduate, and you know, there'll be a question: is anybody interested in, you know, looking at college interns? And then we have to make a case for what it is that we would want to do with the interns, and then we can go into the pool and try and select from people who apply.
So I do have a benefit of some experience here. I did 2 co-ops actually while I was here at NJIT. Each one was about 8 months long and comprised a summer and a fall. So I actually took off 2 fall semesters. So that's why I'm class of 99 instead of class of 98, because I came into the school in 94, and I did 8 semesters, just not all back to back. It's an experience that I very highly recommend. I learned a hell of a lot. I like the longer co-op format because it gives you a chance to get a little bit more embedded into a company's corporate culture than you can in just a 10 or 12-week internship assignment. But it teaches you a lot of things that you really can't learn at NJIT. NJIT teaches you a lot of fantastic things, a lot of great technology, a lot of good skills, but it can't teach you how to behave in a corporate workplace. You know, the showing up at every day at 9 o'clock and dressing in nice clothes and talking to your peers and doing work that is going to be of value to the company sort of changes your perspective a bit in a way that you know, doing classwork, assignments, and theses and projects really can't give you that experience. My first internship was at Goldman Sachs, and they actually required at the time they had a full business dress code. So every day I left this dorm building right over here, because I was still staying in the dorms at the time, in a suit and tie, walked through campus, got on the PATH train, and headed into downtown Manhattan. And it was a great, fantastic experience. The second internship was at IBM, and that actually led directly to an offer for my first full-time job. I knew I was going to be an IBMer even before I came back to school to start my last semester, which is nice. It didn't ultimately work out for me. I only spent about 2 years at IBM because it wasn't, as it turned out, the kind of career that I wanted to pursue. But I'd say most of my early professional development happened at Goldman Sachs and at IBM. Anybody who has a chance to do an internship, even if it means taking some time off from work and delaying your graduation by a little bit, I would definitely do it.
I'm going to disagree with the suit and tie thing. That's why I got into environmental and construction. So I can wear combat boots and jeans and t-shirts every day and get dirty and disgusting. I never could. He looks good like this. I can't do that. So, So, there is no substitute for experience. There really isn't. So an opportunity to take an internship is a fantastic one. Make sure it's paid. Unpaid internships are a waste of your time because it's slave labor, really and truly. It's also, in some cases, illegal. Make sure you read the fine print. Plus, your time is highly valuable. It's the only commodity you can't get any more of, so you may as well get paid for it. And the Earn as a Learn program is a nice one for those of us that get to do it. In addition, if an opportunity is presented to you, even if it's not the optimal one, the one that you really, really want, that's okay. Take it anyway. It'll help you either open a door or close a door for something in your career that you may or may not have considered. And if you hate it, suck it up. It'll end soon enough anyway, and you get to make some money in the process. But you get to learn, and you're paid to do it. That's part. If it's something that you do like, then there you already have an in and can find your way to do more. If you are proactive, you ask, you put in the time, give more than 100%, ask questions, ask for help, show that you have initiative, that you will take risks, and that you are willing to talk to people. And if you have a problem, you don't know the answer, you're willing to ask and say, I don't know, but I know how to find out.
I think I have a similar recommendation. I graduated with a comp-sci degree, as a couple of folks here on the panel. So thought I was going to go into a world of development and what have you. My first co-op internship at NJIT was with Unisys. It's over in Baskin Ridge. And it was a good experience. Got a chance to work in an IT organization, understand the business side of the house. And through that internship, continued in software development and IT. But eventually, I'm a director of sales engineering. So, for some of us who are in development or in computer science, we look at sales folks as kind of like the devil. Really, we don't trust them. And taking the opportunity, as mentioned here, to try different things and find out what you really like is really important. Take the opportunity to take internships where you can get them, right? Because you get to be exposed to something. You might find that you really enjoyed an area of technology that you might not have picked to begin with. Certainly was true for myself. So absolutely, go for it. Try different things.
So I did not actually do an internship. I was on an accelerated mission. I just wanted to complete my master's as soon as possible because otherwise the funding would run out. So I was an international student. I had no chance of getting an internship, but I took a different approach, which was, I said, I'm going to do my best, get to every single company that comes on campus to get to the career center. And if they say no, that's fine. I will go to the next one and try. So I kept that going for a couple of months. And sure enough, there was one organization, which was done in Grad State, that said, at least I'll give you a chance. I'll interview you. They never asked me, are you an international student? So I went through the whole interview, and then they realized, yes, I am an international student. But thankfully, my status had just changed shortly enough, and I was able to go on to full-time employment. The reason I tell the story is you need to make that effort to put yourself first, and always look for an opportunity to ask questions and never give up, right? So that's a very important trait. How do you get an internship? There may be internships that come to NJIT itself, but there are also outside ones that you could apply. So if you're working in, towards a degree in chemistry or biotechnology or any other majors, you could always look online to find out which organizations, serve your particular branch of interest. And there are a lot of places that do offer internships, and even if they don't come on campus, you can still give it a good shot, and you'll definitely be able to get it. The second thing is that you need to make an effort to do that, because that's going to be your stepping stone towards your first job. And believe me, NJIT people do hire NJIT people. I was hired at Pfizer by 2 senior managers who were both from NJIT, and they were actually first-generation students at NJIT, had gone through the Learning Center, had gone through all the programs that I was familiar with. They saw my resume, they saw the very similar traits, and sure enough, the resume moved up to the top. So those are the things that will definitely help you as you move towards your career.
Thank you. Exact same story like Sri. I graduated in '96, and being an international student, didn't have that many opportunities to go into a internship. So the model is, and if anybody is international student here, this tip may help you. So, found a small company, because directly big corporations do not sponsor for work visas, at least back then. So, you find a small company, and then they will place you in large corporations. So luckily I found one, and he put me at AT&T in Middletown, New Jersey. The experience was very valuable. So the coursework which I learned, and I took computer networking, that's my major, and still do the same thing. Dr. Carvelas had us write a router code. Router, you all know, you play on websites and all that, right? So the back-end stuff is all routers. So he had us write a whole complete code of how a router works. Although that was kind of theoretical to get grades, I was able to translate that experience into a real position. So it's very, very valuable that you do internship and try to correlate the graduate work you have done, or undergraduate, doesn't matter. The project is very, very important, right? The thesis or the project route you choose, that's going to directly translate from your coursework into an internship. That's the first part. Luckily, change the story, I now work for Verizon. It's the world headquarters is in our backyard. It's between Manhattan and Basking Ridge. I'm happy to help. I just started, I'm kind of trying to learn the ropes of what HR does and what the policy is. But absolutely, as many people said, the best way to find is network through alumni, know opportunities. Some come to school, or you guys go to the employer through us, and we'll be happy to help. Thank you.
So I think I agree, with most of the panel in terms of the value that an internship adds, to the intern. I think there's an inherent value that internships provide to companies as well. And my company does employ quite a few interns over the summer. We have a lot of co-ops. But I think the key thing is that as NJIT students, especially, upperclassmen, you do have a set of skills that are valued. Maybe not even with, the degree. I'll give you an example. We had a summer intern in our department, and I guess last August I was having a conversation with one of the directors over one of the vendors that we work with, and I said, we really need to put the controls that we have over this vendor in some document. We need to make sure that we have a list of what these things are, because we have regulators and all sorts of people. And he said, oh yeah, I've got that. And I said, Rob, how did you have time to do that this summer? He said, oh, our intern took care of it. I said, really? And there was this beautiful document that was very well thought out, very well articulated, that Rob didn't have time to do, but he was able to educate and use the skill that student had. And she really did a marvelous job. So I think there's a lot of value that you can provide with the skills that you have now. And I wholly agree. I mean, when you get out into the real world, it's a completely different mindset, and you're a totally different person than what you are. Your identity completely changes. And immersing yourself in that environment, even if it's an environment that you don't like, that's a good thing to know before you start applying to colleges. And I think Nick, you said, just suck it up if you don't like it. You get to learn on how to work with difficult people and how to build relationships. I mean, those are all very valuable experiences.
Let me add something. If you think any of your professors are bad, you know where I'm going with this. Wait till you have a boss.
Yeah, true.
Client.
Or
So thank you very much. So I want to ask you a few questions, and just kind of, how many people on the panel here have to sell in some way, shape, or form? Okay. You just
Oh yeah, sure. Please don't drop it.
Can I interest you in this helmet? It's carbon fiber. Glass doesn't scratch. It has removable liner. It has Boston ventilation, and a price point of $100. Our competition is $200. What would you say about that? I'm not in the market for a helmet, but you look like a motorcycle guy, and I think you look really good to sell. Really. What am I trying to do here? Sell, right? Now what am I doing? I'm trying to show them the value of this, right? So you talk about how many people here sell? Everybody sells, okay? A skill you're gonna have to learn, 100%. You're gonna have to sell your project, and you're gonna have to sell everything that you do in business. Would you like to hear some examples of that?
Before you even get to that point of selling your project or selling your services, you have to sell yourself. Sir, are you married?
Yes.
I can sell you a helmet. It helps. The reality is that the moment you walk in the door, any employer, any client, any customer, anybody you associate with is going to evaluate you and your capability right then and there. Capability, not culpability. Excuse me. So, something is to be said for confidence and the willing to learn and the ability to communicate. One must be able to do that. Because if you don't understand what you're doing, your client's not going to understand what you're doing. You have to be able to sell them on every single aspect about what it is you're trying to do.
Who from the panel wants to give the elevator pitch on themselves?
Oh, can I?
Somebody want to do that?
May I?
Let her rip, Nick.
Okay, so.
Look, first, does everyone know what the elevator pitch is? Good. Let her rip.
15 seconds. Just to give you a quick background as to why I know this is because I'm the owner and executive director of my own company, so I have to be able to do this. And with clients like the United States Department of Defense, when you have a rear admiral who's asking why I should give you a multi-million-dollar drone program to manage, you have to be damn sure you know what you're doing. So, currently as the executive director of the Nomad Group and pursuing my PhD at Montclair State University in environmental management, I've been fortunate enough to manage projects for the United States Department of Defense, United States EPA, and the United States Army Corps of Engineers, developing large-scale projects that manage multiple millions of dollars and a number of personnel across domestic and international borders. We've been fortunate enough to be able to leave a long-term legacy that will be standing decades after we're gone, that students, families, neighborhoods will be able to reflect back on and say, Nomad was here, they did a good job, they cleaned our water, they protected our environment, they preserved our sailors' lives and allowed people to go home. And that guy rides an electric motorcycle.
Anybody else? Chris?
From a sales engineering perspective, my responsibility is to bring up a team that can sell technology to any organization, be able not just to understand the technical bits and pieces of it, but to, I think an earlier point around sales is you have to sell it around your competition. So we have to also understand the landscape of every other vendor that might have a similar solution or similar sounding solution in the market. So from a technical competency perspective, you have to be able to come up and prove yourself and show that you have the expertise and the confidence to be able to execute project. But then beyond that, you have to know everyone else. So from a sales engineering in Silicon Valley or just in technology today, there is a new company. It's got to be every half hour, right? So, and they all sound like we have the same type of marketing message. It's a demanding job, but from technology, implementation technology, sales engineering is particularly a lot of fun because you just get to meet a lot of organizations, get to go a lot of places, and at the end of the day, because you're always investigating your competition, there will be no lack of opportunity once you're past this one.
Sure, man.
One of the things they train us at my company is to sell by not selling. And it sounds a little bit ironic, but a lot of our customers are being sold to every day by vendors, by their own employees, by all sorts of different people who always want them to buy something, give them money, and they get tired of it. If you're constantly going to people saying, buy this, buy this, buy this, buy this, it fosters a very self-centered image of yourself. You offered him the helmet, but you didn't explain to him why he needed a helmet or find out if he needed a helmet, if he rides a motorcycle at all. You could go into a customer with all these great ideas about cloud and microservices and API and whatnot. It might be totally irrelevant to their business. So what we do is we try to get close to our customers, work with them every day, understand them, listen more than we talk, figure out what their concerns are, what their problems are, and it may not always be, you know, on day 1 or day 10 or day 100, but you'll eventually identify something that to them is a problem, but to you is an opportunity. You'll see that one of your customers is having trouble with deploying a certain application. Every time he tries to deploy it, it crashes, and his teams are spending the whole weekend working, and customers are going down, and things work for a few months. The next release, the same thing happens over again. So you go to them and you say, hey, I know you're having trouble with this. I might have a solution to that. Because we're a very large company, we have our thumbs in a lot of different pies, so to speak. I have a lot of tools at my disposal, not necessarily technologies that I might know, but I can leverage other people in my company and help come up with a solution to this problem the customer's having. And you go to him then not necessarily pushing something to sell, but offering to help. And that can be much more effective than the daily grind of just trying to push sales and shove things down their throat that may be not even relevant to them. And our customers, I think, appreciate that.
Let me add one quick thing. So I agree with everything. The one thing that I would say in addition to that, right? So yes, so you have to sell yourself, but before you can actually sell yourself, you have to know yourself, and you have to know what I refer to as your brand, right? So who are you? What do you have to offer? And I just actually went through that, you know, very recently, and something that probably you guys will be doing very soon, right? So I went through an interview process. So as I mentioned, I've been at Novartis for 13 years. I kind of lied a little bit. For 1 year in between, last March, the division I was in was divested to another company, so I went with that division to that other company, and then I came back to Novartis in April of this year, and I had to sell myself because I went through a whole interview process. And knowing who I was, knowing what I had to offer the company, even though I was with the company, you know, previously for 12 years, but now knowing in this new role that I'm going into, what do I have to offer? What is the brand that I have, and staying true to that brand, and not, you know, it takes some time to really figure that out. Nobody wants to focus on yourself, right? Because it's a very uncomfortable thing to do, is to sit there and you know, write a resume, or to think about, well, who am I, and how do I want to come across to my prospective employer, or to a customer, or to a client, or whatever. But that's something you really need to take time and get right. And then that's the brand that you stick to, that's the brand that you grow, and that's the brand that you then can sell.
Thank you. So everybody has a piece of paper with a bunch of little cells on it, so to speak. What I'm going to ask the panel members to do is to say one fact about themselves, and on the paper you're going to write true or false, and you're going to write your name. And then I'm going to have Mike go back and look through them, and whoever wins gets a cold, crisp $20 bill. You see that? Those guys left, and they're out $20. All right, Ken, we're going to start with you.
So, is this a fact, or is this?
It could be a fact or
it could
a
be
lie.
true
It
or
doesn't matter.
false.
You have to put true or false. Is he telling the truth or not?
Okay. I went to high school with a famous movie star.
Ooh, good one.
I cook great Indian food. Come over.
Oh, come on.
I've had dinner with the Prime Minister of India.
Oh.
Dinner with the Prime Minister of India. Chris?
I've stayed at a software company for longer than 2 years.
Ooh. Nick?
I sang at Carnegie Hall.
Ooh, good one. Matt?
Occasionally go skydiving. Skydiving. I
Skydiving.
occasionally go skydiving.
Matt's a skydiver.
I almost failed out of NJIT.
All right. Mine's the last one, and mine is Matt owns a motorcycle. I don't know. Looks good to me. We know Nick does. All right. True or false? Come on. And you'll pass them all this way, and Mike will take them. We'll look them over. Mike Mike already knows the answers. So we have about 10-15 minutes left. Do we have any questions right now that we can answer for you? Because I can go a certain path, but I want to hold the audience here. Questions? You've raised your hand before. Sure. Did you have a question? Oh, okay. Thank you. So any immediate questions?
Could we ask them what their expectation was in
Absolutely.
attending this event?
Key thing about selling yourself, understanding what the audience wants. So what were you expecting? What was everyone expecting here? Didn't know? No? Yes.
We can't hear that, yeah.
I'm sorry.
So I thank each and every one of you for coming. Oh, wow, it's loud. I guess actions do really speak louder than words. But anyway, so I want to thank each and every one of you for coming because they made my dreams become a reality by just coming. And why I say that is because the company that I'm starting is Daydreams, where you dream during the day, but your realities become true at night. And why that is what I'm creating is a company that is all apps. It's a world of possibilities. Do you want me to speak louder?
We can't hear you at all.
I can't hear you, I'm sorry.
So do I put it up to here? It's okay, is that loud? All right, so I'll start over. Basically, I was thanking each and every one of the alumni for coming out because I speak the voice of truth, but anyways. Everything that they said, their actions spoke louder than words because whether he lied, or any alumni lied, they could be anything they want to be because their dreams became a reality. So can each and every one of yours. And why I say that is because I want to start a company called Daydreams, where you dream during the day and your actions, whatever you do, happens at night because we are one call away from making your dreams a reality. And what that company is an app store. It's a world of possibilities inside of there because Android and iOS, that's what I want to do. But I can't do that alone. I mean, yeah, maybe I'm the founder or the co-founder, but with ANJEC's love and support, I can do anything. With the alumni's help, each and every one of you, I can do whatever I want to do. Because whether he said he was true or false, and whatever he said, each and every one of them are true in everything that they say because honesty is the best policy. So I said true to all of them because they're the real deal. They're unique. Each one of them does something different.
I think all of us want dream during the day, right?
Absolutely.
Good deal.
I was curious, what did you hope to achieve by coming to this event? What did you think you could get out? That's what. And that would help us improve for the next time too, because we are always looking for continuous improvement.
Come on, guys, you got to say something. Too quiet.
As I say to my students, the answer's not on my forehead.
So you could get asked something like this right at an interview, because they're not going to ask you technical questions out of biology or physiology or chemistry or anything like that, because they're going to ask you something which is related to, how you think, how quick you are to respond.
Yes.
So here's a challenge. Come up with a statement on what you hope to achieve and what you'd like to do for the next event.
You had a question?
Okay, there is one person there.
Yep.
Yeah,
Right?
go ahead.
Young
Go,
lady.
please.
We give him a mic.
I was going to wait for the mic. I don't need a mic. So the question was what did I expect coming into this? Well, I came in with an open mind because I usually don't like to prejudge things before I come in. So I enjoyed it. I thought it was a very helpful, very informative session. For future sessions, I guess we could do more networking. Because I know how important networking is for getting internships and jobs. So if that was the question, yeah, networking is definitely, I understand how important it is.
We'll just hang out afterwards. Networking usually happens at the end of these.
And let me answer that too. There is one more event at NJIT which I attend every year. It's called Speed Networking. Usually it's in end of the March, if I'm right, Michael, right? So one evening we come over, there's a format, and the students are divided by major, I believe, or by industry, and we just go around, hey, kind of giving some ideas regarding what you should be doing as the next step. So absolutely, just work with Michael and the team. There is coming that's very shortly in the springtime. Absolutely, yeah, there is one.
Anyone else care to go? Give us some thoughts. Go ahead.
Just to piggyback off of what was said before, knowing from my own experience, within the past summer, I was looking for internships, and I realized that either there isn't really a network for the school to bring the internships to the students, or it was, at least for myself, it was very difficult to find the internships and to know where to even start. And I could relate to you guys. I'm an international student also, and my network in the United States isn't as wide as maybe other people, which shouldn't be an excuse. But I just feel like it was more difficult to figure out where to start and how to get the ball rolling. And I guess just meeting with you guys tonight was sort of a better, even a networking option, and to see what you guys think from your point of view instead of what we see here at NJIT, what you guys see from the so-called real world and how it's on your side and the internship process.
So before we break, we have just one or two more questions. G? Right? You want?
Wait, how did we know if she won?
Can we know the answer?
Yeah, what were we got to do the
Yeah,
answers.
you didn't even ask what the answers are.
How did she know whether we did these things or
No,
not?
we checked.
So we tracked all the comments that you guys
Yeah.
submitted beforehand, and then Dave and I talked about it, and that's what I was sitting here doing for the last 2 minutes or so.
Wait a minute.
No, I didn't go off of those.
Yeah, no, I didn't go off that either. All right, let's go down the list. I want to know what you guys did.
Yeah.
No. That's for another time. Anyway.
That's proprietary.
So we want to, at this point, Mike, we're just about ready to wrap.
Yeah, I think we have time for one more question, like one last question, and then we've got a breakdown. So we've got a question over there.
So I never told you any of my names, but that's not important because their actions speak louder than words. NJIT alumni, they did a great job because even if their names are over there, each of them says something different about themselves, which makes them unique, makes them a gem. I would give them $1 million each of them because they're priceless. I can't afford them though. Even if I had a company, I can't afford them because their $1 million smile, that alone is priceless. Why I say the things that I say is because my motto is say no more, say less, and do more. But I can make that New York youth, I can make that appeal to the New York youth, regions and nationwide. But even I can do it in professionalism. I can make a professional business, 4-in-1, I can do whatever I want to do. But with NJIT alumni, networking, our questions are their answers. What we can do together is a solution. My name is Alan Sampson, by the way.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, panel members. Quick round of applause.
Good luck to you guys out there. You'll do fine. And if not, every day you just get to get up and try again.
Always go back.
Thanks a lot. Thanks, guys. Oh, we're all on LinkedIn. Yes? We're all on LinkedIn. So come find us, come talk to us anytime you want.
Yeah, just to let everybody know,
You guys should have our LinkedIn profile.
what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to send out your LinkedIn profiles and your information to all the attendees here tonight. So thanks for filling out the information at the front. So I'll make sure we get connected with each other. And I just want to encourage everybody to stay connected. One of the things I like to say is you are not just students, you're alumni and residents to me. So you're just waiting to graduate. And these are your network right here, right now. So these are people, whether or not you're looking for jobs in those industries, those fields, those companies, these are people you should get to know because these are part of your NJIT family. And you're always going to be part of ours. So thanks for coming out today.
Thank you.
I grew up in North Korea when I went to West Orange High. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a good town. So I pulled it together like that. We're going to do more of these or similar things. I remember right across from back here. Yeah.